This episode of the Jim Stroud podcast is brought to you by Career Intelligence Weekly, the newsletter that tracks the invisible job market for smarter career decisions. Subscribe now at newsletter.jimstroud.com. Picture a lab. Somewhere in Cambridge, Massachusetts, a test subject hunched over a keyboard, scalp wired up with electrodes, typing an essay while a chatbot feeds him lines. And the monitors behind him tell the whole story before he finishes his first paragraph. His brain is buffering. Hello, I'm Jim Stroud. I want to talk to you today about something that just should scare every recruiter listening to this, because the scene I just described, that's a real study out of MIT Media Lab. That's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology for those keeping score at home. Researchers strapped EEG caps on people. That's electrophenolography. It's a fancy word for reading brain waves. And they watched what happened when people wrote essays 3 different ways. Okay, so one group used artificial intelligence, one group used a search engine, and one group used nothing but skull sweat. So you want to guess who had the weakest brain activity? Go ahead, guess. I'll go ahead and tell you. The AI group. The weakest connectivity of the 3. The circuits that run working memory went dim. The networks that handle deep attention barely clocked in for the shift. Now here's where it gets ugly. More than 8 in 10 of those AI users could not quote a single line from the essay they had just, quote, unquote, just written. Minutes after writing it. Couldn't do it. The unassisted group, nearly 9 in 10 could. But wait, here's the gut punch. 94% of those AI users walked away feeling satisfied, feeling productive, feeling pretty good about work their brains never touched. The researchers have a term for that: psychological disassociation. I have a different term for it, but this is a family show. Well, and the bill for all this convenience, the researchers call it cognitive debt. AI boosts your output today, and it quietly repossesses your ability to think tomorrow, like a payday loan for your prefrontal cortex. Wow, I'm funny. Okay. Now, before you throw your laptop in a lake, let me give you the twist, okay? Because buried in that same study is a finding that changes everything about how we should use these tools, right? When people wrote first on their own, formed their own opinions, and then brought in the AI, well, their brain just lit up across the board. Every frequency band firing. The scientists called it integration overhead. Those people had ideas of their own, so when the machine made suggestions, they had to wrestle with them, compare, push back, reconcile. And wrestling, my friend, is exercise. So the lesson here is sequence, right? You got to think first, and then AI sharpens you. Prompt first, and it hollows you out. Same tool, opposite outcomes. It all depends on who goes first, you or the machine. Food for thought. Okay, so why does this matter for recruiting? Well, let me connect the dots. There's a new divide forming in the workforce, and it has nothing to do with who has access to technology. Everybody has access these days. Researchers at the, let me check my notes here. Researchers at the National University of Singapore. Researchers at the National University of Singapore describe it as the AI-fluent versus the passively dependent. The people who use the machine to amplify their own reasoning, and the people who lean on it like a bar rail at 2 a.m. And that divide pays out in cold, hard cash, depending on whose data you trust, right? So workers with real AI skills are commanding a wage premium somewhere between 28 and 56%, right? 28 to 56%. Wow. The strong get stronger. And everybody else gets a very confident, autocomplete, and a shrinking career. Now, a field study followed 244 consultants at the Boston Consulting Group, and it found that knowledge workers have basically split into three species. Now, stay with me here as I turn the page on my notes here. Okay, so the first of these three species is the centaurs, right? And that's 14% of the workforce. These folks keep a clean division of labor. The human runs the analysis, calls in AI for specific queries, like a detective pulling a file from a database. They produce the most accurate work in the entire study. Why? Their expertise never left the building, right? And then there's species two, the cyborgs, which make up 60%. Right? Fused with the machine, trading suggestions back and forth all day long. They build real AI skills. I'll give them that. But the researchers flagged a trap called performative validation, right? And that's going through the motions of reviewing the AI's work while your actual judgment takes a nap in the back office somewhere. And then there's species number three, and this is the scary one, right? The self-automators, which made up about 26%, right? Now, these folks hand the whole task to the machine and then they go check their phone, right? The researchers call their outcome, quote, no skilling. No skilling. Sound like a rap album. All right, no skilling, right? So, weakest work in the study. They were the first to swallow a hallucination whole. They didn't even recognize when hallucination was there. They just ran with it, right? So do the math with me, right? The best model claims one worker in seven, right? The worst claims one in four. One in four of your coworkers, one in four of your candidates may be a trench coat full of laptops walking around in a business suit. So all that being said, what does that mean for you, the recruiter, the sourcer, the talent leader, listening to me rant here on your commute? What does it all mean for you? Well, it means your signals are dying. Yeah, that brand name degree on the resume from that Ivy League college, it tells you that the candidate got in somewhere, right? It tells you nothing about whether their reasoning survived 4 years of machine assisted everything. And meanwhile, some kid who learned to trade in a public library, no subscriptions, no shortcuts, they might outthink your entire Ivy League shortlist, you know, which is really, really wild when you think about it, right? Makes you wonder how valuable these Ivy League degrees are in the future if the people there are so used to using AI that they can't think on their own, right? So, so there's that, right? Let me check my notes here. Where was I? I lost track. Yeah, okay. All right. So so you think about it. These Ivy League students or Ivy League candidates with their polished portfolio, their flawless take home, the crisp cover letter, any of it could be the candidate that you interview next. Any of it could be the machine wearing the candidate like a suit, which is really wild. So recruiters, sourcers, everybody in talent, your job just changed. You're no longer sourcing for skills alone. You're sourcing for brains that still fire on their own power in a market where the resume can't tell you which is which. You look at the resume now, you don't know if this person truly earned that experience or if the AI they've been using the past 4 years is the one who really earned the experience. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This whole true life, real life has become a Black Mirror episode. Is it just me? I mean, do you see that too? Uh, all right, so that's it for this episode. Next episode, I'll get into the fix. I'll talk about how to interview for a mind that still works, because so many recruiters out there are gonna need it. All right. Yeah, yeah. Just yeah. You have been listening to the Jim Stroud Podcast, a proud member of the Purple Acorn Network. If you like what you heard, hate what you heard, or don't know what you just heard, I want to know about it. Email your questions and comments to podcast@jimstroud.com. That's podcast@jimstroud.com. Do it now. Operators are standing by. Well, that's it for now. I'll be back later, right here, with a brand new episode. So until then, bye-bye.